This week on the Digital Coffee, Google is axing its split test tool, which is sad. On Instagram, images, yes, images are making a comeback. And would you pay for an ad-free Twitter? All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and I am delighted to see you here today. If this is your first time joining the show, my name is Amanda Webb. I said that bit already, Amanda. If this is your first time joining the show and you don't know why I've got a mug of coffee in my hand, it is because it's not a mug of coffee. No. I'm not allowed coffee before the show because apparently I talk too fast. So it's empty, but I have had a cup of tea just to get the caffeine into me before the show. So I would love to know what you have in your mug today. We've got lots of news coming up. I have a question of the week. I would love to know that if you would pay for an ad-free Twitter. And it's kind of obvious, isn't it, what the story behind that is? But there you go. I'd just like to say big congratulations to Ecamm because they've launched this whole new version of Ecamm. So I'm a little bit lost with my button pressing. I'm learning it, but it looks amazing. So do let me know if you're watching, where you're watching. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on YouTube? Are you on Instagram? Can you see me at all? Because I'm not quite sure with this new layout. If anyone is actually there. I'm sure you are. Also, I know there is a problem with LinkedIn at the moment. The Microsoft outage seems to be having a problem with the API. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, a big hello. I'm definitely coming to look at what you've been saying as soon as I finish the show. But without further ado, I'm just going to have a little party here. Because, LinkedIn is working. It's working. Hey, Ian. I'm absolutely just terribly excited. For 2 weeks, we haven't had any comments on LinkedIn. So we have had comments, they just haven't come through on my software, which great to see you here, Ian. Thank you. Would you pay for an ad-free Twitter? That's what I want to know.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching the Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
If you want to make the most of your digital marketing, particularly your website, split testing is the way to go. All us marketers will just tell you split testing is it. You got to test. That's how you know if your marketing is working. And Google have this amazing tool called Google Optimise, which can help you with your split testing. So basically what you can do is you can set up a couple of different variations of your web page, and it will split test for you, and it will tell you which ones got the best results based on what you've decided the best results are. Which is nice. Well, it was nice because now, as from the 30th of September 2023, Google Optimise is going away. Which sounds like sad news. It does. But it's not as bad as we think because apparently they're going to integrate it integrate A/B testing of some sort into Google Analytics 4, which I actually think is kind of better rather than having to go and look at all the different individual tools. It's really handy if you've got one place where you can see everything. So it's not all bad news there. I can see we got loads of people on LinkedIn. Oh, I'm having that moment. Phew, because, I love LinkedIn and it was weird it wasn't working the last few weeks. Hello, Laura, who's watching on LinkedIn. Do tell me if you've got tea or coffee. There's Sue. Great to see you, Sue. Thanks for joining me. And just to be a rebel, there's Kate on Facebook. Great to see you. Now, do tell me, would you pay? Are you even using Twitter anymore? It's the first question. And would you pay for an ad-free Twitter? I'd love to know. I'd also love to know what is in your mug. What are you drinking while you watch this show? As we know, mine is sadly empty.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Instagram, Instagram went all video. When you logged into Instagram like last year, There were no photos at all. It was all just video, 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 maybe a carousel, video, 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 video. Well, I do remember that towards the end of last year, Instagram boss Adam Mosseri said that he thought he'd gone too far with the video. He'd pushed it too far. And that's good because a lot of people really missed seeing photos and images on Instagram. That's what they loved about Instagram, and it kind of spoiled it. But according to an Instagram story that Mr. Mosseri put out in a Q&A this week, they have already started fixing that. They know they went too far with video, and now you should be seeing more images in the feed. Weird that though, because just a couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with a client that I'm doing some training for, going, Instagram's all about the video now. And I had just been on Instagram and I had just seen video upon video upon video for a long time. Then all of a sudden, it was almost after it had shown me all the videos, it started showing me images. I think if we're going to start seeing more images on Instagram, this is great news, not just because that's what we always loved Instagram for, but also for marketers, right? It's a pain to create a video that people are even going to engage with or like. It's a lot of time, a lot more time than constructing an image. So it means that you don't have to dedicate your entire life to creating content for Instagram anymore. And hopefully we are going to see a more diverse feed as far as the types of content we're going to see. Now, that doesn't mean Reels are going away. Reels will still have its own feed, which of course is all videos. It just means we're going to see less of that in our home feed. I mean, TikTok, that's YouTube, that's where videos belong, surely.
Hi, Sasha Lydia from Think Outside the Bot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Guess what? It's Data Privacy Day. I almost said data then, I'm turning American. It's Data Privacy Day tomorrow. It is. And guess what? Meta want you to think that they care about your privacy. They want to persuade you. I did, when I first read this, literally spit my tea out. I choked when I saw that. I mean, they do have a lot of work to do. There has been a study. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. There was a study that showed that only 18% of US social media users were confident that Facebook protects their data and privacy. And I'm pretty sure all of us here would be a little bit skeptical. It's not that they don't want to, it just seems that it's a little bit broken. However, to mitigate this, I guess they want to get ahead of the game. They published an article earlier this week talking about how they are protecting your data and privacy. And they added a whole lot of stuff about how you can do a privacy checkup to make sure that you're not sharing too much that you want to with other people. Now, I don't think this is going to change anyone's minds, but I do think that it was a smart move from them to get ahead of the conversation, because of course, tomorrow they are going to get a whole load of grief about the way that they've been handling data. I mean, it was only, I think, last week that I was talking about them getting taken to court in Europe about GDPR. It's an interesting move. I don't think any of us believe them. I can see Deirdre is laughing. Deirdre, thanks for joining us over on YouTube. Yeah, I knew you'd love this one. Ha 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 ha. Indeed, indeed. And yes, good to see that Instagram is going back to its roots. Now, I've no problem with videos on Instagram, but just the amount of videos we were seeing was probably way too much. What do you think? I don't think you really need to answer. Do you trust Meta with your data? I mean, we kind of do by the fact that we log in every day, but you know, what's your trust level there?
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
When you offer a personalized experience to your customers, even if it's only slightly personalized, it can make them feel welcome. It can make them feel at home. And that was one thing I think TikTok totally got right. Because I remember that when I logged into TikTok, maybe it had been a few months since I'd been on there, and it was when I was kind of new to TikTok. And I noticed that all the content I was seeing in my For You tab was Irish. It was Irish content coming up, Irish creators, Irish people to follow. There was a bit of the UK sneaking in as well, but mostly Irish. It was like I knew they knew where I lived and where this content was created, because they did. And it was weird because really the only people I was following on TikTok were in the US that I'd met online, or I met at a conference when I kind of got interested in TikTok. So it was weird that my For You tab was getting it so right. And that is one of the magical things about TikTok, that it instantly makes you feel like this isn't some weird foreign network. This is home. And this is something that YouTube Shorts has been missing, or YouTube in general would be missing, but we're talking about Shorts today. Shorts, if you don't know, are kind of like YouTube's version of TikTok. They're short vertical videos. They've got their specific feed on YouTube. And now when you upload a short, you're going to have the opportunity to tag your short for the location. Now, you could actually always do this after you uploaded. You could go and click, 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 and say your location. Now they're actually doing it at the point of you uploading. Why is this important? Well, firstly, it means when I scroll my YouTube Shorts feed, I'm going to see a lot more localized content, a lot of content that's relevant to me, that's going to make me feel at home and that this is relevant to me. Secondly, if you're a business and your target market is a specific location, that means, I'm not talking about a town particularly, I'm talking about a country. That means that more people are actually going to see your content because it's local to them. So you're not going to waste your time reaching a whole lot of people that are outside your target market. So that's a big thumbs up, YouTube. Thanks for doing that. We're seeing there are a few issues with TikTok and governments at the moment. So if your eggs are in your TikTok basket, it is worth looking at those other places that you could repurpose your TikTok style content. And I think YouTube is making a really good job of that at the moment.
I'm Ant McGinley and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, Twitter bookmarks are a pain, depending what phone you use, it turns out. You would see something come up on Twitter and it would look like it was going to be a really interesting read. But you know what? You weren't supposed to be on Twitter right then. You were just kind of like sneakily taking a look at your phone. So if you wanted to remember to read it later, you could bookmark it. But there were, I think, 3 clicks, 3, maybe 4 clicks to get to the bookmark button. I did it a lot because I do it for this show. If I see like an important piece of social media news, I will bookmark it so that I can make sure I add it to the show. But it was a pain, and other social networks get it way better. So, on Facebook, simple to bookmark. On Instagram, simple to bookmark, but Twitter was a pain. Not anymore. They are making it much easier for you to bookmark tweets. So now if you click into a tweet, which they call expanding a tweet, you can actually see there is a bookmark button directly underneath there, and it will tell you when you've bookmarked it. This is only on iOS, so Apple devices at the moment, but they are rolling out to Android and to desktop soon. Why is this important? Well, firstly, it's important for us because people are able to bookmark our stuff and maybe revisit it later, and we can start encouraging people to do that even. Longer form content is going to become more accessible, I guess. But secondly, we have to think, why would Mr. Musk, because we have to always think it's his idea, why would he do this? Well, Twitter Blue, aside from being a verified check mark, when you sign up to Twitter Blue, you get something called bookmark folders, which means that you can categorize your bookmarks, much like you can on Instagram and Facebook. You have to pay for that. So if you are bookmarking more stuff, you're going to see more value in those bookmarking folders. So Twitter Blue is going to become more appealing to you. Or at least I think that's why he did it. Do you bookmark content much, or is it that the other big question, I guess, is, do you go back to bookmarked content? Now, I do use bookmarking quite a bit, but that's because, I do a lot of training. I'm always looking for good examples. So I bookmark those examples when I see them. Or if there's something, relevant to a friend or something, I might bookmark it so I can send it to them later. But is it something you do? Is it something that you would do more of if it was easier?
Hey, I'm Christine Gritman, and you are watching The Digital Coffee with social media superstar Amanda Webb.
Now, Elon Musk may well be on to something. I think he might be actually making a smart decision. Because when he decided he wanted his subscription service, he thought he knew what people wanted. He thought that people would happily pay for a verified check mark. To be verified, he thought that was a badge of honor. And of course he does. He's an egotist. He thinks we've all got the same ego he does. He thinks we're all willing to pay instead of earn a verification check. And, that to me, that's the least appealing part of Twitter Blue, because I think it's kind of embarrassing if somebody sees that I paid for a verification check. So some people, of course, went for that, and I don't judge you. If you went for that, I totally understand. Maybe you want to support Twitter. Maybe you want people to know that this is actually you and not an imposter. I totally get why people did that, but it's only going to appeal. And plus, I would have bought Twitter Blue if I could get it, but I don't know, is it just Ireland? Because I can't get it. If you're in Ireland, you have access to Twitter Blue, do let me know. However, that's only going to attract a small number of users. So he's thinking, how can I get more people to subscribe? What is it that they really, really want? And you know what it is that we want? We want an ad. That was almost a really good transition. We want an ad-free Twitter, don't we? Wouldn't it be? I know so many people who would like to not have their Twitter experience ruined by ads, or that's how they would describe it. I know people who hide every single ad that they see on Twitter. So this could be epic. People could pay for this, and that would kind of twist it, because he'd be getting money from subscriptions rather than relying on ad revenue. Now, he has only just said it in a tweet, and we really don't know if he says something in a tweet. Does it actually mean it's going to happen, or is it just a passing thought that scuttles through his brain? But either way, I do think this is something a lot more people would subscribe to, and it could be the thing that saves Twitter, because goodness knows it needs saving.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
LinkedIn has really been getting behind its newsletter service. Now, if you don't know what that is, on LinkedIn, you can actually set up, I think you have to have a creator account, or a business account, a business page. And you can set up a newsletter. This is a bit like email marketing. So when you set this up, people can subscribe to it, and you will send out regular updates via this. Now, I do subscribe to a few. I think initially it was just a new thing, so I subscribe to some that I've no idea why. And then I also get Andy Crescedina's, which I would highly recommend, by the way. I get that every week. And LinkedIn really want people to be using this service. It was fabulous, I think, for people. I don't use it, but I know when people initially got it, they found it very easy to get people to subscribe. And also, I think that's good, because, not everyone that you're connected to on LinkedIn logs in every single day. So actually, if you manage to grab those subscribers, you've got a different way to contact them, which can only be good news, right? Now, LinkedIn really do want more people to see that you've got your newsletter and to subscribe to it. So something that they are introducing is that when you visit someone's profile, you're going to be able to see which newsletters they subscribe to, which means discovery of your newsletter is going to be much higher. And I think when they roll this out fully, because they're just informing some users right now that this is going to happen, you're going to see an uptick of people on your LinkedIn newsletter subscribing. Also, though, initially, I think you may see a few unsubscribers, because Do I want all those random newsletters that I subscribed to when it was a new thing to appear on my profile? Do I want to advertise those? So obviously there's going to be a few unsubscribers who don't want to be advertising your newsletter. Either way, it's really interesting because Facebook and Twitter both launched newsletter services as well, and they got rid of them. So LinkedIn is the only place that's still invested in this. So I feel like it must be working for them. I can see I've got some comments. It's great. Firstly, hello Anna, long time no see. Great to see you here. You want the edit button. I'd forgotten about the edit button. I could do with that as well because I'm such a typo queen. Like seriously, I have to like really concentrate if I want something to go out that's not gibberish, as people who follow me on Twitter may know. How would that affect Twitter ads? Well, that's a really good question, Jessie. I guess we'll have to see, won't we, how many people actually subscribe to it. I mean, right now could be a good time to advertise on Twitter because a lot of big brands pulled out of Twitter or didn't renew their Twitter ads. So right now it could be a good time to advertise before this comes in, a good time to advertise and actually get in front of people and have less people to less competition for your ads. When this comes in, I guess it is going to affect the power of your Twitter ads. I mean, personally, I've never found Twitter ads to be amazing in the first place, but that could just be the sort of businesses that I've advertised for. But I love the way that you've corrected yourself. I bet you'd love a Twitter. I would never know if I get effect right either. I love that. So I don't know. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how many people, if this actually gets launched, how many people take it up. And then, yes, what is the impact on ads on the platform? And does it really matter to Twitter as a platform? Because they'll be getting their revenue elsewhere. Is it just the case that we need to be a little bit more tactical with our marketing and not be relying on the paid ads so much? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Great question, Jessie. I can see, I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this. Sorry. I should put my glasses. That's right across my face as well. Hello. I think after this takeoff, there was a massive drop in advertising. There was. You're assuming it's close to a 40% drop. There are studies out there, so you could well be right. There was a massive drop even before the takeover. Even when the takeover was rumoured, they lost a lot of advertising revenue because the future of Twitter was uncertain. So people that would bulk buy ads for the year, like big companies, weren't doing that. And obviously, it's not us as small businesses that they make the money from, is it? It's those big businesses. It's an interesting one. Next week sees the return of the digital coffee extra shot. What is that? Well, it used to be a Twitter space, but we know Twitter's a little bit way at the moment. So now it's actually going to be on LinkedIn. So it's great to see so many of you on LinkedIn joining in. What is it? It is an audio chat, which is myself and my wonderful co-host, Mei King Sang, who will get on. She'll tell me how wrong I am about all the things that I have to say about all these news stories, but it's also your opportunity to join in. So you can come in, you can have your say about what you think about these particular stories or news stories that I may have missed during the week. That's coming back next week. I'm still working out the logistics of how it works. So I hope, aside from joining me for the digital coffee next week, you'll stay with us. You'll come back even because I have a little break, a little cup of coffee at 10:30 so that we can discuss those stories with you. I'm quite excited about doing this on LinkedIn. So that's all my news. I am launching something next week. So watch out for that. Can you believe it's the end of January already? I will be back, same bat time, same bat place next week.